into action. And here we go. The opening bounce. Clark up against Benny Gale. The heart kick was smothered. Rogers soccers off the ground down towards right half forward. Here he is, Darryl White in game number 100. They love him. He gets it across to Lambert. He goes towards left half forward. Lappin is there for the Brisbane Lions. Lappin looks down inside 50. Malloy's the target, and he's been a beauty in recent weeks. Gives it back to Lappin, in towards the pocket. He tries to bend one back, but goes a little too far. Gale's too slow, though, and almost a free kick for a tackle too high. It's going to be. I think that's Lepich at the bottom of the pack.
And we have some very exciting news for Robert Di Domenico fans. There has been some structural changes to the Richmond side. More of that later when we come up on Scotty Turner at full forward. But this time it's Justin Lepich as Adrian Fletcher takes a drink on the bench. But Lepich can get the Brisbane Lions away to a fly.
.28 goals so far to his name this season. Lepich shoots from 20 metres out and has missed. Now Dipper, take a bow, my boy, take a bow.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Well, you know, backs against the walls, and the boys obviously had a talk throughout the week, and well, Scotty Turner did come to Richmond as a forward, and we'll get to see that I know a little bit about the game.
Yes, you know more about it, but I'm just wondering what his massive information, the scoop, the little bit of gossip at quarter time is going to be.
I have got a scoop for you, Jared. You have to wait till quarter time.
Actually, he does have a scoop, and it concerns the Brisbane Lions, but that's coming up. Just one piece of information at a time, Dipper, as Matty Knights goes back into play and the umpire goes flat on his back. Michael Gale gets the hand pass away. A chance now for Richmond to go forward. That kick is high in towards half forward. Oh, Richardson could be in trouble here. He clashed with a teammate. He's slow to pick himself up. Lambert tries to get the ball out. Plenty of heat on early there is Daniel Donati finding out what senior footy's all about. Goes in once again. It's Gale at the bottom of the pack. He gets it out. They're certainly fired up today, and it's going to be a Richmond free kick. Could be
pushing
at the
back,
bottom.
Sandy.
Yep, Wayne Campbell who's going to take it. Well, he had Matthew Knights almost standing still. Gets it off, however, towards Jason Tawney. Tawney into the right forward pocket. Lynch is there defending. He's caught. Goes to the boundary line and finds it.
Well, already we can see that the Tigers are attacking the football. They've had a couple of players clash at centre half forward, which is a good sign. Rather than being a negative, their early match tackling and shepherding and willingness to work for each other is just what we'd expect with a side that's copped such a lashing.
So we saw the weather conditions there on screen, but now it's the Richmond Tigers' opportunity into the forward line. The high ball, Richardson trying to judge it. Gale charges in on the contest. A little left foot outside kick. One behind. So the Tigers answering the Brisbane Lions are first behind. And really the intensity of the game is quite high at the start. Chris Scott, a welcome return to the side after collarbone injury and hamstrings earlier in the season. So the kick in to Darryl White, playing at centre half back, gives the handball away to McRae when McRae wasn't ready for it, but now they've just got the sense and the presence to back to Lynch. Terrible kick from Alistair Lynch. Really, from that position, you're looking to gain a little bit more distance than that. And the Brisbane Lions not combining well across the half-back line whatsoever there.
Yes, a number of mistakes coming here early in the piece for the Lions, and Lynch, whose kicking hasn't been great of the last month or so, was looking for Tristan Lynch, but came up with Matthew Richardson.
So Richardson with the opportunity, the leading goal scorer for the Tigers, 30 for the season. He's kicked long, kicked very wide. So the Tigers with the two behinds on the board are actually now leading over the Brisbane Lions.
Alistair Lynch again.
Matthew Rogers is running with the Brownlow medalist in Michael Voss.
Champion at the back, Gale in front. Hart is there also. Had it for a moment, but then lost it. Lambert couldn't take it cleanly. They lock it up. Now a chance for Prescott. He's in all sorts of bother. Did a 360 and has been pinged. Hang on too long. Eventually did find Harrison. Lambert's in trouble. Real trouble here. Knights has pounced upon him and locking it up just inside 50. So somewhat of an untidy start here by the Brisbane Lions.
The harassment by the Tigers, on that occasion Matthew Knight, was first class.
Just on the Richmond 50. Not a good bounce. In fact, Campbell will take it towards Harrison. Caught Knight's almost unaware. Flicking round the body is Thompson. Ewan Thompson has registered a behind with his first kick. So a 2-point margin. Still the warming up continues for the Lions. On the bench from Chris Scott to Alistair Lynch. Clark floats across the pack. It's taken over by Craig McRae, who's playing his 49th game. There's Matthew Clark playing his 82nd. Up against Holland, and despite being from behind, it could have almost been a free kick for a push.
I agree with that, Sandy, but Tim Shearer wouldn't have been able to see from where he was in front of the pack, but maybe that's a situation where one of the other umpires has to pay it from the side position.
And now he's found one. It's gone the way of Wayne Campbell.
Oh, Chrissy. Keep your hands down, son.
He goes to half forward. Danny Dickfoss was there. He's not paid. Harrison goes in towards goal. And it's marked on the last line of defence by Richard Champion. Away he comes.
Pushes on out towards Darryl White. The Lions now with an opportunity of breaking from half-back. Lappin steps around the handball on into the path. Lynch has come all the way down the ground. The long kick now looking for Keaton. No, it's Bradshaw out in front. Works hard and over the line. So Jared Malloy has been a fine full forward over the last 2 weeks.
Just 1-2 of the strife at Richmond in the past week. How much of a danger game it is for the Brisbane Lions. Let's hear from John Northey.
Well, it is against the Tigers. You know, I've been there in the same situation with Richmond, of course. When they got the backs to the wall, the old Tiger really starts to fire.
The Tigers have got their backs to the wall at the start of this game here. They're doing everything within their power. Tristan Lynch feeds in ball. Champion just off the ground, but finds Rogers at half-back for the Tigers.
Has a look down towards the middle. Darryl White gets in front. Controlled it for a moment. Good work by Harrison, though, to keep at it. Lepic could have given away a free kick.
High tackle was signalled, Sandy.
Yep. To be taken by Darren Gaspar. Been a good player for the Tigers. Gaspar towards centre half forward. Big pack of players. A couple of lines going up but unable to take it. Knights goes storming through. Ricochets away from Lambert. Could almost come back to him. It does. He flicks it out wide towards Buse. He's taken by Richardson. Spills free. A chance now for Nichols. Sweeps the hand pass wide. They keep it in play. There's Dipper's mate Scotty Turner going in towards full forward, marked by Lynch. Might have said Nichols. It was Powell, in fact. As Lynch goes back towards centre wing, uncontested almost, is Brendan Gale. He heads for home with a long kick, but he starts at left. It stays left, and in fact is out of bounds on the full.
Well, important now for Richmond to get a major on the board. They've done particularly well in this opening 4 or 5 minutes. But unless they convert, well then Brisbane can take the ball down quickly and just undo all the very hard work that they've done at the start of this term.
So Champion very deliberately outside 50. The spoil from Brendan Gale back inside for the Tigers, but Andy Buse strong in defence, steps out, sets up Johnson. Beautiful kick. He in turn forward finds Akamanis. There are lines virtually running everywhere inside 50 now. Lappin's the one on the end of that kick from Akamanis. Nigel Lappin. Lappin played for Victoria last year and has 49 goals to his credit at AFL level. A minor milestone for him. Victorian representative inside 50. Not a good kick from a player of that quality. And over the back, Jared Malloy claims it. Well, in that situation, whenever you're asked whether you meant that or not, Nigel Lappin would surely say a yes.
Yeah, great pass it was to Jared Malloy, who opens up the angle and appears to have missed.
So the opportunity's really going begging here just at the moment. Malloy some 13 goals over the last 2 weeks. But hard up against the boundary line there, really couldn't open it up far enough to make more of that opportunity.
Tiger bench always waiting to get their chance. Paul Broderick down there. Now Matthew Knights goes short to the outer side. It's okay. He finds Darren Gasper. Bright sunshine now over the Gabba. Kicks up towards centre wing.
Holding paid in the marking contest.
The green booted to Richardson to take it on the defensive side of centre wing. Looks up towards left half forward. Clark could have almost given a nudge, but it didn't matter because Brendan Gale was playing in front. Gale hooks it in towards half forward. Scotty Turner, though, behind Lynch.
Scotty Turner doesn't know how to play full forward, I don't think.
We could have a chat to Dipper, because he nominated him hours ago. Hart in the back pocket. Got Clark short if he wants him, perhaps a little too slow. Harrison's got him covered now. He maybe look further afield to Michael Voss. Rogers having the job on him. Pulls it in toward Matthew Clark. Gale at the back is an effective spoiler. Waiting down is Wayne Campbell. Tumbles a punt into full forward. But there is the veteran of 273 games, Andrew Buse again, finding Hart. A high kick, trying to accommodate Keating. He had to beat two and he did it remarkably well. Gasper and Richardson. Clark Keating hasn't missed a game this year. One of only 4 Brisbane Lions to have played the lot. And although Lepich, I think, might have called for that one, the high fly came from Craig McRae.
So McRae now quite away from goal, inside 50 now. There's the lead. He's got him. That's an excellent lead. A long lead over some 40 metres. Wants to go on. And also wants to let Paul Bullis know that it'll be a tough afternoon. Jared Malloy, 4th in the best and fairest at Fitzroy last year as a defender. He's really now showing versatility as a full forward. He'll kick from 50, and he kicks as a defender. 6 and 7 goals over the last 2 weeks from Jared Malloy. And a couple of shots here early in the game. Boundary throwing, right on the behind post. Gale over the top, great leap. Finds Campbell, Campbell's away, and a couple of bounces through half-back.
Good shepherding by Prescott, sees him clear again, although the kick is not a good one. Johnson intercepts. And he's a real live wire. Bounces up and skips away towards Lynch, who pokes it in towards the centre, and the mark taken by Buse. Stop-start affair. He's got to wait for someone to break. He gets the break now on the outer side, and it's Lappin who goes long in towards Malloy and Bullisaw. Malloy again, a big fly up against a couple, and the Tigers through Bullis, pushing it in towards the back pocket and over. Going to be some good duels around this ground today, Jared.
Yeah, already we're seeing a couple of interesting matchups. McRae and Campbell are both winning possessions. Lambert and Knights are playing on each other. And Bond is picking up Jason Ackermanis, and I think that Robert Walls thinks that he is one of their key playmakers.
Kick again goes in towards the pocket. It's over the line. Let's hear from Robert Walls against his former club today. I wonder what sort of motivation that would bring him.
Oh, look, it's always good to win against your old team, and we did it last year, and we'll be working very hard to do it again this year.
Free kick.
Darren Goldspink signalling shepherding there. And
Matty Knight still having plenty to say about it, just querying it.
Matty Knight signalling pointing.
Well, let's see what Lambert can do. From 35 metres, 45-degree angle, go onto the left foot.
Darren Goldspink's paid a 50-metre penalty for Ashley Prescott coming in from the side.
Agli amanti italiani piacerà da morire il nuovo Maccamore di McDonald. La fragranza d'un...
So Craig Lambert against his old side. And in controversial circumstances against one of his teammates. Matthew Knights takes the free kick and kicks the first goal. There's quite a bit of activity going on off the ball. Umpires talking to players. But now all is in readiness. John Harvey bounces. Gale well down towards Prescott. Quick kick out of the centre. Gives Powell the opportunity, traps the ball, receives it back again. A little this way, that way, under pressure, comes back out onto the left foot, into the forward line. The Brisbane Lions, well led there by Richard Champion. McRae, Johnson, out to Lynch. Lynch beautifully on the left foot to the wing. Keating in front, Clark from behind, feeds back, McRae. They find space where it isn't seemingly there. Kicks on into 50. Lappin runs onto it. Numerous possessions early. Lappin keeps the ball in. Again tries the banana. And again without any luck whatsoever.
Yes, Jason Tawney is chasing Nigel Lappin around the ground, and Lappin is a very exciting player. He's already had a couple of shots at goal, but he's had 8 possessions, and that's just too many at this early point in the quarter with nearly 10 minutes remaining.
Paul Bullis comes out of the back pocket towards Benny Gale and Darren Gasper. Clark, the effective spoiler. McRae waiting down. Buse hustled by Matthew Knights. Gasper goes through and just pushes it further forward, down towards centre wing. Lambert's going to be the one who stays on his feet. Craig Lambert up towards left half forward, poking it out in front of Marcus Ashcroft, and it comes off Michael Gale's boot on the full. So it'll be Ashcroft who'll send the Brisbane Lions deep into attack. Goes short in towards Voss, who's loose, and he takes the mark. Michael Voss turns 22 tomorrow. It'd be a nice early birthday present, wouldn't it, if he could kick his 8th goal for the season.
Well, he was just allowed to get away too easily. Matthew Rogers has got the job on taking him out of the game, but he just didn't man up as quickly as he should have.
From 40 metres, he starts that right. It's swinging back now, and it slams into the woodwork. One straight kick in it. Bullis again. Brisbane today with a win can sneak into the 8, and Richmond just have to win if they're going to have any chance of being around come September. Here goes Tristan Lynch. Delightful 360, and then just goes short towards Marcus Ashcroft. Good play. He's got Malloy screaming for it down in the square. Away goes Ashcroft. A high drop punt in towards full forward over the back, and conceding a behind is Chris Bond. Chesty.
And what a competitor he's been, Chris Bond, since crossing from Carlton. He's only missed 1 game since 1994. And seemingly each week he gets hit by the proverbial truck coming through. Continues just to bob up. Here he is doing the kicking this time. Matthew Knights has done all previous kickoffs for Richmond. Bond goes long outside 50. Gasper's the target. Good mark.
Oh.
Quick give on off. Thompson underrun in his first game. Hart, beautiful kick. There it is. Lepic stands and delivers, and again misses.
Dear.
Absolutely inexcusable.
What do you think Bondi's saying to him?
Oh. He's missed a lot. It used to be 21 yards. I'm not sure how far it is in metres, but surely it is still a big enough target to hit. The Tigers now through Michael Gale. His handball just a little astray there for Prescott. Makes amends, feeding back towards Brendan Gale, right in the centre of the ground to the forward line. Lions defence under pressure now. Richardson wheels around on the left foot, bounces one, bounces on through for another behind. The 4th behind for Richmond. And the Brisbane Lions 1 goal for.
Yes. Lynch again. He's had his time, said the umpire, so goes straight down the middle towards Nigel Lappin. Holland, an effective spoiler. Powell was there. Prescott also. Pressure now on this defence. The rat Andrew Buse is at the bottom of the pack. Picks himself up. with Robert Powell. Now let's have a look at this kick once again.
Yes, it looked awfully like a point from our commentary position.
Certainly did.
We're right behind it, so let's hope the margin either way isn't one behind.
Dick Foss gets the hand pass away towards Lambert. He goes to the outer side. Hart is there on half-back, and Sean Hart tumbling a punt up towards centre wing. Richardson will lead in the race with Voss, but the boundary line beats them. Here at the Gabba, boys, a big ask for those sides on the road. How does Robert Walls feel about it?
I think after Sydney, the Gabba's probably the hardest to win at for opposition teams.
So his boys really have a task in front of them here today. Michael Gale there, taking the ball out of the contest and being awarded the free kick. Looking down the field, looking for his brother. No, it's Harrison in behind, takes it. Handball's quickly off to Turner. He flicks it on towards Richardson. Really, the system not quite working there for the Tigers at the moment, and the Lions again combining and let a racehorse go through the centre. Ackermanis, a couple of bounces, looking in towards Malloy. Body work, far side of the umpire, and he's awarded the mark.
Well, it was a costly turnover by the Tigers. They had the ball in their forward 50, but they couldn't maintain possession. And it's been one of their problems over the last month or so, just allowing it to come out of their offensive area too easily. A great drive through the middle of the ground by Jason Ackermanis, and a pretty good lead too when this guy can convert from outside the 50.
So for his third shot today, Malloy, it's not going to make the distance. Contest is there right on the line, and it eventually trickles over. Jared Malloy came into the game kicking 16 goals, 7, so accuracy was with him, but 3 shots today, realising just the single behind.
1 goal, 9 we've seen kicked so far in this game. Shades of the MCG yesterday between Geelong and Collingwood, but early days. Holland, Shepherds, and Bullis takes the mark. Did well to keep out Clark. Bullis heads towards centre wing, towards Richardson. Tawney overruns it, has time to go again. Thought about the hand pass, and maybe he should have thought a little more about it. That ball almost goes out of bounds on the full. Turner there.
And it does appear apparent that early in the game that Robert Walls has asked them to perhaps forego the extra handball and just to kick the ball to the longer options. They've got the big men down there in their forward line, and they've just got to get some more crummers there to maintain possession.
Speaking of crummers, here's one for the Lions. Lambert in towards Voss in the centre. Bond wider to Tawney. He looks down towards the forward line, Jason Tawney. He wants Richardson. And he's going to get a free kick for a push. And how accentuated was that, John Russo?
Well, it's difficult for us to tell from here, but it certainly looks as though Richardson's made it look a lot worse than it otherwise was. But nevertheless, he's picked up a freebie there, I would say.
Hardly a normal body movement, was it?
No. A guy that size doesn't move in that sort of motion, does he?
Richardson has booted 30 goals for the season. The Tigers looking for their first. He starts at left, it comes back beautifully, and he's got it.
And Robert Walls would be very satisfied to get that first one on the board. He knows how important it is when you're struggling just to maintain touch early in the match. And whilst Richo, I think, exacerbated the free kick, I think the problem with Richard Champion was that he did just put his hands on the back. And we know by virtue of a statement coming from David Levins this week that they have looked at that during the week, John.
Yeah, that's right, Jared. But it's pretty difficult to tell where Richard Champion's hands are from the camera view. But nevertheless, as you said, the umpires have been told that they should be prepared to pay free kicks and pay infringements for those sorts of incidents.
So the second goal of the game with 3 minutes remaining, both goals from free kicks to Lambert for the Lions and then for Richardson for the Tigers. So in the remaining minutes, both sides wanting to get a vital goal or two towards quarter time. Knights through the centre of the ground with a bounce, kicks in. Here's Richardson running onto the loose ball. No one between he and the goals, dribbles it through 2 in a row.
I'd like some legal advice.
Tigers by 5 points with 2 quick goals to Matty Richardson. Clark floats high. Gale wins it. Hart can't take it out of the middle. Lambert can. tumbling punt towards Michael Voss. Puts the old foot down on the accelerator and sneaks away from Rogers. Pokes it up towards the 50. Keating has to do it with the one hand. He's not successful. Pressure now on the Richmond defence. Knights is going to get a free kick. He plays on quickly to Campbell. Wayne Campbell. To left half forward towards Darryl White and co. Some fancy work from Powell. Keeps it in play and does well. Precious seconds ticking away and the Duck has got it. Nick Daffy centering into half forward. He needs a mark, but not from Richard Champion. Not from a Brisbane Lion. It's going to be McRae. Beautifully done. Gets away from Richardson on all fours. Back to Richard Champion. Champo has kicked a few goals this season. He enjoys it. Instead, this time he finds Lappin, who can run on. He's got Clark loose at half forward. Doesn't see him. Goes longer. Malloy. One out duel here with Bullis. Malloy first to recover. Tries to soccer off the ground. Misses. They go again. Richmond try to lock it up. And eventually it comes out towards Knights. He can't take it away from the hands of Malloy. Finally, behind conceded. No, just keeps it in. Gives it away towards Kellaway. Wobbles one up towards half-back. Lappin sneaks in quickly. Pokes it high towards Hart. He could have been held. Play on, says the umpire, so Clark does. Gives it off to Lambert. Lambert onto the left foot. He goes way to the right.
Well, he's never been a noted goal kicker through his career, Matthew Knights. Sorry, I should say Craig Lambert. Wrong club, wrong player. And on that occasion, that was one that he should have drilled.
So the Tigers under pressure here just at the moment. McRae again. A sweeping handball from Lambert on out to Ackermanis. A terrible skill error. I just can't believe the skill errors we're seeing here just at the moment.
Well, particularly inside the Brisbane forward 50, they've had a number of opportunities to kick goals. And it's almost a little bit of lackadaisicalness, if that's a word, Terry, creeping into their game up forward.
Well, that was not lackadaisical, that mark there from Richardson. Doesn't get off the mark, feeds a handball on out to Harrison. The left foot kick over the shoulder. Finds Scotty Turner a long way from goal.
Richo running back towards goal, and this is where he's most dangerous.
He's got it. No, he hasn't. Buse bustles him out of it. Champion left it behind. Johnson stepping through. Finds Lambert. Bit of a look around for the options. Lambert tosses it up high towards Clark. Gaspar. Assistance now from Callaway. Steps through, does the defender. Sweeps a handball out wide again. Tawney getting away from Lappin on one of the rare occasions. Drives in. Here's a chance for the Tigers now. Richardson sets in front. There's the siren.
Yes, and it was a very entertaining first quarter because it did look as if the Tigers were going to waste some opportunities, as we have another look at Matthew Richardson, who had a very good quarter, maybe his best quarter for some weeks, and that was an absolute ripper, towering over the top of Clark Keating. And when you add his 2 goals to his tally in the first term, it comes up with an outstanding first quarter. And Richard Champion certainly will have to just tighten up a little bit. But I thought, Sandy, that both sides had their fair share of the football in the middle. At one end, Richmond got a couple through the goals, but the Lions could have had a 4 or 5 goal quarter, missing 3 or 4 easy shots at goal. And I'm sure John Northey will be rather livid as we come to the short break.
Richardson has the 2 goals for the Tigers. Lambert has the 1 for the Brisbane Lions. It's 12 plays 16. The Tigers, 4 points. Plenty of intermittent sunshine. 4 points the margin, favouring the Tigers. A pumped up Brendan Gale is going to be up against Keating. It's won by Gale. Can't take it initially out of the middle. Ball comes to ground and it's Keating who picks it up. His kick is partly smothered, however. He applies a quick tackle. It comes wide to Hart. Sean Hart looks down towards the half-forward line. Leppich, can he recover? No, he can't. There appear to be holding on there from Malloy. Play on is called once again. This is Marcus Ashcroft, the little golfer. Swings it round onto the right boot and is away to the right, one behind.
And another change for the Tigers is that Nick Daffy has come onto the ground for his first run this afternoon.
So 1 point to start off this second quarter.
In fact, he may well have been on earlier and picked up 1 kick.
Well, I apologise there, Jared, because I didn't pick him at all. He's one player I already expected to have done a little bit more to date. The Tigers now coming back out after the quarter-time huddle from Robert Walls, I'm sure with some enthusiasm, motivation as they come in again. And Powell now in towards half-forward. Bullis does the work there. Harrison feeds over the top towards Richardson, the goal scorer. He's under pressure from Johnson. Champion in there now assisting. Wrapping it all up again. Ben Harrison, the Tiger, at the bottom. Richard Champion, the Lion, at the bottom. Paul Broderick is a player we haven't seen. Chafee. And I think it was Donald Donati. Get the thumbs up on that one. So Michael Voss now sweeps it out wide, too wide, gives the Tigers the opportunity. They couldn't do anything. Ashley Prescott appealing to umpire John Harvey for a holding free. Prescott there with Sean Hart. So thrown in. Keating in the front position. Harrison works it. Here comes Knight. Pokes it out along the ground to himself. Plays it even further along. Oh, very heavily met. There was Rogers by Views. All fair. But it's a very heavy piece of work here. Bang. Elbows, arms all tucked in.
Fantastic bump.
Throw in once again. Keating edges out his opponent. But according to umpire Darren Goldspink, illegally. Dipper?
Just to wrap up what the coach has said at quarter time, Sandy, they were both happy about the endeavour of the sides, but they just want to make sure the players use the ball properly. As we see this kick goes into the Richmond player, Daffy.
Yes, Nick Daffy takes the mark directly in front. And 40 metres out.
And this was a good lead by Daffy. He had some support in Richardson, who could have clearly taken the mark himself, and a pretty good kick as well.
One of 7 Tigers to have played every game this year. Daffy's kick looks okay. The duck has done it.
So Nick Daffy, his first goal for some 5 weeks. On a personal note, there's lots of a one-on-one contest going on around the ground now. The Tigers are really starting to pump up into this game. Voss for the Lions, out to Lambert. Prescott hones in on him, but Lambert has a second go, wrapped up by Powell. The Tigers now are really fighting for this one. McRae, Rogers chases him down. McRae puts a foot on the accelerator, drives in towards the goal square. One out contest. Malloy front, couldn't complete, off the ground, over the shoulder. Holy Toledo, look at that! Oh! Jared Malloy missed the mark opportunity, then makes something out of nothing.
Don't know about Holy Toledo on a Sunday, but we'll ponder that.
Nice work there by Craig McRae, and a good second effort by Jared Malloy. And if you're going to be a star full forward in this competition, you've got to have a few tricks, and he has shown over the last month that he's got a number up his sleeve, despite the fact that he wears a sleeveless jumper.
Well, what a reply by Jared Malloy. And again, it's a 3-point ball game back in the middle. Gale wins it out of the centre, but taken by Tristan Lynch. Needs someone going past. Eventually backpedals to his captain in Michael Voss. He looks up towards Clark at half forward. Tries to do it with the one hand. Darren Gasper is right there with him. Gasper locks it up on the defensive 50. And there'll be a bounce by John Harvey as Lambert disentangles himself, and Sean Hart waits on the sideline with Chris Scott, who could be forgiven for doing a Basil Fawlty impersonation just then. Bounce on 50. 22 plays 19. The Tigers lead. Gale up early. Out it comes to Michael Gale. Only for a moment. He pounces in there once again. Matty Rogers there. Chesty Bond. Ashley Prescott for the Tigers. Same spot, same procedure by the umpire. Gale over the top. Knights goes through to Michael Gale. This time he's got a bit of room, and he's clear as he goes up to right half forward. Big pack of players, and a fine grab taken in front by Keating. Been good for the Lions this year. Gets underneath a drop punt, pokes it high towards centre wing. Plenty of black and gold there, and it's Brendan Gale with the advantage in height who takes the mark. Gives it away, and they kick it up towards Darryl White. He comes bursting through in his 100th game. Chopping clear now was Ackermanis. He gives the hand pass away towards Lynch. Now here's an opportunity for Michael Voss. Voss has got a bit of time and a bit of space. He goes in short. That's okay to Piggy Fletcher. Fletcher's 55 metres out. Not a good kick into full forward. Oh, Lucks of fortune almost. It floated over the top. Ashcroft may get another chance. He goes through. Could have been taken high. He's still going. Play is allowed to go on by the umpire. Bradshaw is there in the pocket. He's still got possession. Needs help. Gives it off to McRae. McRae chips in towards half forward. Ashcroft is there. He's almost beaten by an opponent. I think the umpire's lost his whistle. Lambert goes to ground. Richmond are going to finish up getting out of trouble. Incredible.
Out they come, out towards the near side. A very good mark in the front position there from Harrison. Heap of pressure from Alistair Lynch. That was a good get for the Tigers out of defence there. Now they have the opportunity going forward. Scotty Turner. No, it's Richardson up, wheels around. In towards half forward. Daffy caught behind the taller Clark. Buse does the cleaning up at ground level. Pressure from the Tigers is good. Gives Powell the chance. He's a left footer. Off the Rogers. He settles. He goes with the left. Goes long. Goes wide.
And they've had to effect a change in the middle of the ground, Richmond, because Craig Lambert has just been picking up possessions at will. He's currently got 14 possessions, and his handball is so damaging that they've put Jason Tawney onto him. Tawney, of course, started on Lappin, and he's now been charged with stopping one of their great creators.
Here's the newlywed. Danny Dickfoss. Straight down the middle. Leppich, the flyer. Couldn't take the mark. Ackermanis was ripped off the ball. He didn't have it. And the ironical cheers go up from the Brisbane Lions as they get their fourth free kick as compared to 9 to Richmond. Ackermanis. Oh, Bradshaw came charging out. Now the unpredictable Leppich. The orange roughie, as they call him. In towards goal and one behind.
Jared Malloy is getting pretty frustrated with the amount of manhandling that is being allowed to go on by the umpire. So you just have to be careful that he doesn't get himself reported.
Knights is away at fullback. Michael Gale, good shepherding work. Drops short. Prescott. He runs through half-back and he bounces his way down towards the middle. Well played by the Tiger of 60 games, but the kick is not a good one. It drops short to Richard Champion. And Richard, that is not a good one either. Out of bounds on centre wing. He was looking for Fletcher a little further down the field, but it wasn't to be.
There was good pressure there from Robbie Powell, just the man on the mark. Didn't allow Champion any room in which to move. So the Tigers really starting to exert some pressure on the line opponents. Here we go again. Clark drops it down with his right hand, heads towards the line. Matty Knight's happy to do that.
Andy Gowes is down on the boundary line. Andy, what was the feeling amongst the Brisbane Lions this week when you consider you were coming up against the Tigers who were belted so badly last week?
Yes, Sandy, we were very careful that not to take Richmond too lightly. I think it's an even harder game than a danger game. You certainly wouldn't want to even consider it a danger game. And you know, the boys were very focused during the week, and training was exceptionally good and hard. So we realised that Richmond would want to bounce back, and we wanted to counteract that.
And yet some of your disposal this afternoon has left a little to be desired, hasn't it? Is that the Richmond pressure, do you think?
I think it's a combination of two things, both the pressure and the fact that we're handballing a bit too much. Normally we tend to kick it long, so we need to get back to that, I think.
Thanks, Andy, as we watch Craig Lambert burst through the middle now and kick a high ball down towards half forward. Malloy's got to beat a couple here. It's a good bounce for Kellaway as he heads towards the boundary line. Malloy back with him now. Well done, Jared Malloy. Now he needs help. He had to take on 3 of them and he's been pinged, and his frustrating time down in that area will continue just for a moment. Tawney takes the hand pass in the back pocket, and Richmond come away with that Tawney kick back towards centre wing. Strong mark is taken there by Ben Holland.
Feeds back inboard to Rogers. Looks towards centre half forward. Good work here from the Lions defence. Danny Dickfoss charges the ball down, kicks in towards half forward beautifully to Lappin. Has a quick look, decides to come back now. There are plenty of Dancy Lions inside 50 wanting the ball. Could be kicking with the aid of the breeze here, the flags. favouring the end towards which Lappin's kicking. The kick's long, it's not going to quite make it. Malloy stands up in the contest, gets a second chance, and again misses. The Lions with a heap of opportunities inside 50 and opportunities inside 10 metres, not making the most of them. They turn the ball over to the Tigers again for a kick-off, and the Tigers work this one away very well. Prescott eventually to Rogers. Now the ball's at half forward. Richardson fumbles an opportunity, one which he could have perhaps taken. But the Tigers have swept the ball down from full back to half forward. Yes, it was swept. Roger Merritt, Johnny Northey. Roger Merritt lost the game's record for Brisbane Lions 2 weeks ago, wasn't it, to Marcus Ashcroft? Lambert working in there. White feeds one out, stolen by Powell, runs inside, left foot, bananas it back towards the top of the square, ran down by Lynch. Daffy now with an opportunity. Johnson happy to see it go over the line and out of bounds. Lions supporters in the crowd. The flags are stretched out towards the end with which Richmond are kicking.
I think he was also part-time umpire's advisor as well. And Richmond feeling the heat here as champion, gets the hand pass away towards Lynch. Alistair, he kicks towards centre wing. Ackermanis just belts it clear. Going to ground was a Ewan Thompson, and coming over the top is Chris Bond illegally. That's in the back. Always enthusiastic as Chesty Bond, but giving away the free kick on that occasion.
I think incidents like this are just an indication of how much intensity there is in the game, because the stakes are high today.
Lepic will disentangle himself and then go on with the job. Sneaks away, and Gasper persists, puts the pressure on, but he gets the kick down towards Bradshaw and Kellaway. Kellaway is maybe taken high. The umpire says no. Knights plays on. So too does Keating. Very tough here at the Gabba today. And eventually it's Prescott who gives it to Tawney. Little underground hand pass in front of Darren Gasper. Gets his kick just in time as the galloping hordes came towards him. Holland gets the hand pass way to the running duck. Sounds funny, but it's Nick Daffy. Daffy looks in towards half forward. He needs a mark. Coming out very, very strongly for Richmond was Chaffee. On the ground now, goes short. Johnson a chance to clear for the Lions. He's on half back. Eludes one, eludes two. Oh, he does it beautifully, Johnson. Well played. Has a bounce. Another one. A hand pass into space could be problems for Darryl White. No, he picks it up now. Gives it off to Lappin. And Nigel Lappin comes towards the centre. Looks towards centre half forward. Out they come, the big pack of players. One of the last in line was Thompson. Gets the hand pass away to Michael Gale. Gale wants some space. He wants a spell, and he comes to centre wing, where it's just kept in play by Tawney.
Tawney has time to settle on the wing. It kicks long towards half forward. Holland in the front position. Spoiled. Broderick onto the ground, bursts through. Left foot, he's moving towards the boundary, drags it back across towards the top of the square. Contest there, Richardson, yep! Matthew Richardson. 2 goals already for the Tigers, and really is the spark of the side. The defence of the Richmond side really working overtime at one end of the ground, now working and giving Richardson this opportunity from 10 metres out for goal number 3. The Tigers kick away further.
8 points again the margin here at the Gabba. 3 goals to Matty Richardson. Good contest this one, tough and hard as you would expect. Especially so after the events at Punt Road in recent times. In the middle, Broderick in the thick of things once again. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Lions for the push in the back.
It's a body slam there on Craig Lambert. Yeah. He does tend to just sneak in underneath the packs at the right time.
He does it well, doesn't he? Here's Lambert. Long kick in towards half forward. Lepic with a one hand. Michael Gale can't pick it up. Marcus Ashcroft says, where is it? Well done eventually by Thompson, but he loses it to Lepic. Lepic, his kicking today has, to say the least, been very, very interesting.
Yeah, you'd think that after the last couple of disposals that John Northey would be thinking he may just need to settle down on the woodwork for a little while. They've got a few options there on the bench. So we have a look at the Tigers just stretching away there. But he could have already had 2 or 3 goals, Justin Lepic, and at the moment he hasn't got one.
So Bullis outside 50, a good mark there from Brendan Gale. His 4th mark for the afternoon. Doing some ruck work and centre half forward to the wing. Prescott gets Lambert out of the way quite easily and takes the mark. Wanting to play on. Wobbly looking, kicking towards the centre of the ground, and quite dangerous in actual fact. Tawney missed it. Now Leppich with another opportunity, decides just to feed the little one to McRae, and away he goes. There's 2. There's an open goal square from 45 out. He's missed.
He is electric, though. He is a great player to watch. He gets the Brisbane crowd pretty excited because they know he's got that spearing left foot to kick goals with, and another wasted opportunity by the Lions.
They'd be a lot more excited if it was 10-2 instead of 2-10. 2-10 plays 4-5. 7 points favouring the Tigers, if you may have just tuned in. Tristan Lynch waits at the back. Maybe first to it, although the boundary line will eventually have a say. Maybe not. Pushing it forward for Richmond is the youngster in Thompson. He's going okay too, Ewan Thompson, today on centre wing, and a bounce to take place.
Yeah, a couple of little fumbles early when the pressure was on, but now the longer the game's going, yes, he's really showing something, Ewan.
Wearing number 34, Ewan Thompson.
And Prescott now on Lambert.
Clark. Fletcher. Ashcroft. Leppich. Back to Marcus Ashcroft. In towards centre half forward, and cutting across is Duncan Callaway, taking a timely mark. Michael Gale is wide, and off he goes. Has a look down towards centre wing, spearing it in towards Harrison. Lambert is there. Thompson may have infringed.
Legged.
In fact, was legged, and he's going to get a free kick, the Richmond newcomer. Harrison's going to have to give it back to him.
Not an intentional trip. Had he deemed to be intentional, it would have been a 50-metre penalty as well.
So Thompson goes with a left footer up towards the 50. Oh, that's a fine. That just stuck on the hand of Richard Champion.
Give him something to talk about late on Thursday night, Sandy, that one.
Correct, G. Yes. One of our guests on league teams finds Marcus Ashcroft, not yet down to the middle. Comes wide to Nigel Lappin. It's a very interesting setup as far as all the players are between half forward and half back at the moment. It's very, very congested. That ball is wide, and slamming into the fence was Craig McRae. Reaches the half century, all being well, next week. Game number 50. At the moment he's concentrating on this one. Brendan Gale and Clark. Gale had front spot. This is his brother Michael, off to Campbell. Bit of volleyball work there, but it's effective because it finishes with McRae. He goes in towards Malloy and he marks again. Playing in front. But he's still not a happy camper, Jared, is he?
No, he's incensed by the actions of the full-back. And they're all the sorts of things that Jared Malloy was doing to full forwards last year. However,
the old shoes on the other foot.
When you're on the receiving end, you're well within your rights to be incensed. But he does need to kick this one.
This for his second for the quarter, and it's no. It's away to the right.
And you can see that both of those, that kick and the one that he kicked the goal with, bent around pretty sharply, so the wind is favouring the end to which the Brisbane Lions are kicking. It may well be in the vicinity of 2 or 3 goals, but that not reflected on the scoreboard just at the moment.
So Chris Bond brings it out towards the defensive side. Callaway, good mark in front. Waste no time. Michael Gale, hard against the line, left foot. Richardson, ball floats over the top, left or one-on-one between Dick Foss and Harrison. Dick Foss doing very well in the body stakes, actually buys and wins the free kick. Johnny Dick Foss, what a year he's had.
What a week.
Yeah. But I don't even have him leading the best and fairest up here at this stage. Been such a good player all year. Another good player, Callaway for the Tigers, to Gale. Gale long towards centre half forward. Richardson trying to bustle through, can't get through the Lions traffic there, and Champion takes the mark. Looks towards the far side. Oh, very dangerous there. Heavy contest there, hearts down. Campbell met him heavily but fairly. Now Tawney steps out for the Tigers towards the wing. Knight, a little bit of space. Feeds the ball on. Richardson with even more space. He settles on 50. Kicks long from 48. goes across, doesn't make the distance. Dick Foss back in defence, feeds the ball on out to the running Johnson.
Johnson looks towards centre wing, towards Clark. With him is Brendan Gale. Broderick also soccers off the ground away from Fletcher, but it wobbles in just for a moment before Broderick takes it over. Here's Sean Hart copping a heavy one.
Campbell and Hart both going for the footy there. I think that was reasonable to call play on.
Both up. Gale wins it. Lappin close to the line. Keeps it in play. Does well to pull it round the body. Now Bradshaw, if he gets a clear run, might be able to do something here. Callaway, though, will have something to say about that. He loses it. The cry of ball goes up. And the fans having plenty to say here at the Gabba today.
What a defender Duncan Callaway is. He gives nothing away.
Fantastic. Clark Keating. Sideline for the moment. Gale again. Tawney has it belted away. Ashcroft goes to Lappin. Again, right on the boundary line. He pulls it back in towards Malloy, and Paul Bullis defends over. He's still got a bit to say, as Jared Malloy. He's having a grand time at the moment, though, with bags of 6 and 7 in recent weeks. And Clark out of the air and into the pocket. And Bullis and Malloy see it over.
It's not a bad play there from Matthew Clark. Gives him a second opportunity as the ruckman to have another go at taking it and snaring it out of the ruck.
Well, he saw this bloke called Gary Ablett do it a few times, especially in finals, so let's see what happens here. Voss is having trouble getting into the game. Clark gives it away to Marcus Ashcroft. Touched right on the line, and it's now 2-12. Plays at 4-9. I mentioned Michael Voss having a pretty quiet time, but I guess you've got to give credit there to Matthew Rogers. He's done a good job.
So Bullis this time brings it in. Again, sticking with the long kick outside 50. Clark couldn't complete the mark. Lepage, errant handball taken by Broderick. His left foot kick towards the wing. Harrison tries to charge it down. Bounces in favour of Rogers. His left foot into the spaces. Richardson, and there's Turner. There's Champion for the Lions, and Champion for the line comes through. Feeds the handball to White. Under pressure from Richardson. Back to Champion to the wing position. Michael Gale from behind judges it better. A good mark over the top of Ashcroft there. To Turner. McRae runs into one. Turner steps away. Buys another 15 or 20 metres for his side. Kicks long. Richardson behind. Missed the jump over Champion. Champion stepped out of the way, I think. The Lions through Buse. Again, wobble one outside the defensive 50. Rogers. The Tigers looking to continually push the ball into the forward line, giving Richardson every opportunity. Matty Rogers towards Richardson. Doesn't get there. Harrison and Dick Foss do the wrestling, and now the ball's tied up at half forward.
Couple of minutes remaining in this first half. Brisbane in this term have kicked exactly what they kicked in the first term at the moment. 1 goal, 6. Tigers have added 2 goals, 1. As Ben Harrison has a spell. Turner out of the air. Where are those goals, says the key defender. Taken away by Johnson. Puts the hand pass out in front of McRae. And away he goes. He loves a run, does McRae. The boy from Glenelg runs into a brick wall on centre wing. This opens the door for Chappie. Chesty Bond had it spent before he got it, and he finishes over the line, courtesy of Jason Ackermanis.
Well, it was an interesting decision there by McRae to handball towards himself. He was clear and he was running onto the left-hand side. He could have speared the ball in, but was looking to go it alone.
Tigers are going forward again through Broderick. Play on is called. Dick Foss defends across half-back. No one coming at him, so he's able to run clear still. Eventually goes with an interesting hand pass towards Ashcroft. Back to Lynch. Wider to Dick Foss. Down to centre wing. Could have gone much longer if he wanted to. Instead goes to Piggy Fletcher. Fletcher comes inside to half forward. Malloy comes charging out. Gasper stood his ground. Sock it away. Bradshaw. Clark gives it to Lambert. Sees out of the corner of his eye McRae. Won't get there in time. Rogers attacks him and the ball fiercely. Campbell defends and he goes to centre wing, and just keeping it in play as Ewan Thompson.
He'll want to keep the ball moving. Does so. Comes around on the left foot towards the forward line. Great spoil there from Lynch. It comes back again though from Powell. He's in following the ball. Opportunity for Richardson, a long way from goal, looking for something. There is no one there for the Tigers, so he decides to come back inboard. Matty Knight's nothing there for the Tigers.
And this crowd having plenty to say about the men in white at the moment. Free kicks have gone the way of Richmond, 11-7. But it's the Tigers who have their noses in front.
And they're playing a very good brand of football, Richmond. They really are running to support themselves. And I think the notion that Andy Gower's put forward about over-possessing the ball will be the subject of a fair bit of debate by their coach at half-time. I'm sure John Northey would think that they've had enough football in their forward area to be well in control of this game. But take nothing away from the Tigers. They have got extra players down in the defensive area. You can see they're pretty pumped up. They're very supportive of each other, and the fact that they go in 5 points up will mean that their confidence will grow, and they'll be ever more encouraged to run and do the hard things that all add up to the end of the day for a victory.
Yes, they're pumped up at the moment, but and let's see who can get it out of the middle. It's Sean Hart who got crunched in the first half, but he's okay. It's picked up by Broderick towards Richardson. Marks inside 50. He kicked their first 2, and he can give them a flying start in this second half.
Yeah, good get out of the centre there by Paul Broderick. And once again, Richardson, I'm not sure why, but he seems to do his best work when he's running towards his own goal.
He's got 3 to date. Those 2 that I mentioned early on, then 1 in the second. He's going to be kicking from just on 50, giving himself a decent old run-up. But he can stretch the lead to 11 points if he's accurate. From 49 metres, a real up and under goes in towards full forward. They'll pounce upon this in the pocket. Lloyd Johnson is there for the Lions. Powell over the top, Campbell over the boundary line.
It was good minding of the mark there by Richard Champion with the Brisbane Lions bench apparent there. He backtracked a number of yards, and then he came forward just at the last minute, and he forced Matthew Richardson to kick very close to him and had to do the up and under job.
Free kick, an infringement being picked out in that ruck contest, and it's gone the way of Keating. He'll look towards his co-big man Clark. Darren Gasper's right there with him. Gasper, the effective spoiler. Lappin, a clever little tap on towards Bradshaw. He overruns it. Kellaway having the better in that duel. Gasper, look out, Wayne Campbell, you're in trouble. Gives it to Michael Gale. The Tigers go up towards half forward. Hart is in the way once again. Bends it back to Bradshaw. He flicks it in to accommodate Clark, and the big man takes the mark. Thought about Darryl White, and then White says, no, hang on, you go back and take the kick. So he does, over the head of McRae. It's got to sit for someone. Only Bond, and Chesty Bond comes charging through for the Tigers, chipping in towards half forward. Good spoil by Johnson. Waiting down was Knights. He goes into Richardson. He played on. He played on. And they're out of trouble for the moment. Back towards the half-back flank. Campbell clever. Harrison out. Broderick in trouble. Back to Campbell. A little flick into half forward. He wanted the duck, but in the way is Johnson.
So the Tigers putting all the pressure on the Lions in the opening part of the second half. Lambert comes wide with the kick. Now towards White. Campbell's up to it. He's handball to Gasper. Gasper feints one. It comes back again. Kicks in towards half forward. The body work from Dick Foss is good into the front position. Down to Buse. Runs the ball out of defence. Not a good kick though, and actually picks out Wayne Campbell. He drills it back in towards half forward. The chance there. Powell couldn't complete it. The Lions build one up through Matthew Knights, the left footer. Great kick to Richardson. Sensational kick. Just enough carry over the top of Richard Champion's head. And surely he couldn't miss this one. The Tigers continue to march on in the second half of the game.
Richardson, the difference at the moment between these two sides. The Tigers having a focal point up forward. He's got 4 goals. And the danger signs are up for the Brisbane Lions. Desperate for a win today to try and sneak into the 8 as Voss goes to White. He chips up towards left half forward. Chris Scott, who started on the sidelines, is on the ground. He's had terrible injury problems. Let's hope that he's going to be okay. This time, his kick, not all that effective. Making Lambert work hard, and he does. Ackermanis gets it out towards Lappin or Voss. It's the latter who goes charging forward. Taken to ground inside 50. It's holed up there with Chris Bond and co, and there'll be a bounce. Marcus Ashcroft, one of the last up. Game number 166 for Marcus as the young Tigers look on. Clark wins it with the right hand. The Lions desperate for a score here. Chris Scott does the shepherding initially for Hart, then Broderick chips in and just pokes it over the line. Players coming out of the bright sunshine into the shadows. It's not always easy, particularly when the ball's in the air. Let's see what happens this time with Gale and Clark. Gale was in front and got a hand to it.
Free kick paid for pushing the back in the ruck contest, Sandy.
To be taken by the Tiger big man. Long kick. Big pack of players. No one able to take it. Dick Foss at the back. Danny Dick Foss shrugs one tackle. His hand passes wide, but it's okay to Darryl White. He's on the outer side as he chips in towards half forward, and Bradshaw takes the mark. Been a very quiet day for this young man so far. Daniel Bradshaw, who came into the game with 15 goals to his name this season. Centering kick, but he's got a wonderful future. In towards half forward. Keating was in the pack. Campbell gets the hand pass out to Michael Gale. Another one there out of trouble to Tawney. Tawney comes towards the half-back flank. Richmond have got the numbers here. Lappin was the only one providing any defiance, but it's Powell who gives it away to Chesty Bond, who looks further afield towards Ewan Thompson. Running with him is the Duck. He may want to give it to Nick Daffy, and he does. Go, Nick, you're in trouble. Centering kick as he was pulled off the ball, goes in towards half forward. Slapped back intelligently to accommodate Harrison. Harrison goes in towards the left forward pocket. Champion comes charging out. Holland is right there with him. The boundary line close, and finally it's taken over in front of the scoreboard. 24 plays 35. Dip.
Alistair Lynch now is picking up Matthew Richardson. Might be a bit dangerous because of the way that the Richardson runs all the time. So keep an eye on that one, Jared.
Will do, Dipper.
So 4 goals to Matthew Richardson. The ball in the Tigers forward line inside 50. Campbell trying to do a little bit too much perhaps, and the ball eventually over the line and out of bounds.
And Dipper does bring up a pretty good point, because Richardson, whilst he's now sitting in the goal square, I'm sure now with this new matchup, Robert Walls may well encourage him to take him up to the middle of the ground and back and just try and just see how much aerobic capacity he has got.
So the Lions now working the ball from half back towards the wing position. In the front spots, Matthew Clark steps back. Kicks now towards the true half forward flank. Leppich back on the ground. Takes the mark. Feeds on again. The Lions now pushing in towards 50. Chris Scott at ground level. Tawney defiant for the Tigers. Scott comes back again. Little toe poke. 2 of them, in fact. Gives Ashcroft a quick chance. A fumbled. Pressure from the Tigers. Defence is good. Kick off the ground. Travels along and over the line. The one behind. So the Lions really under pressure here. Their lowest half-time score previously this year was 32 points when they were convincingly beaten by the West Coast Eagles here. And only once have they come from behind at half-time to win a game. The Tigers have them really hot and bothered. The Lions are through Johnson. Beautiful pass inside to Malloy. Johnson 3 on 50. Really is a well-qualified player to slot these ones in. Six kicks for Malloy, just the 1 goal. More opportunities than that. This, for a full forward, is a gettable goal. That is just so disappointing.
Unbelievable.
The essence of the game now is for players at an individual level really to concentrate on the basics of the game.
2:14 plays 5-5. Matty Knights.
Free kick paid off the footy. The kick will be taken by the Tigers at the back of the centre square.
Yes, down it comes now. Knights was unaware of that. He's been informed of what's going on now. He might have gone against
and
Chris Scott.
And a 50-metre penalty being paid against Chris Scott.
Oh,
I'd say he's had a bit to say to John Harvey, so we'll now go to the other end of the centre square.
This may well be a first where a full-back kicks a goal.
This could almost be also construed as a 2-goal turnaround because he should have kicked that goal. There's no doubt about that. And now Richmond have the chance to really make them pay. Matty Knights directly in front, 50 out. Incredible. Knights is going to go short. Look at this loose checking. Nick Daffy all alone on right half forward. Playing in his 81st game. He hasn't missed a game this year, the Duck, and has kicked 17 goals up until today. Kicked 1 in the second quarter. And if he kicks this will be the greatest lead we've seen in this game, and it's going to make it hard for the Lions, who've managed just 2 goals in over 2 quarters. But he starts it right, and the breeze takes it even further. So a let-off for the Brisbane Lions.
Why wouldn't the free kick, John, be given to the fellow that was infringed upon? Why would Matthew Knights come up and take the footy?
It doesn't even have to be given to that fellow, Gerard. It has to be given to the closest player to where the free kick's to be taken at the back of the square, but Matthew Knights must have been reluctant to give the ball up.
So the Tigers unable to make the most of that opportunity presented to them by the umpire. Now they construct one themselves. Knights under pressure ran down to Prescott. His kick away across towards the left, and again another behind. So the Tigers in the third quarter really peppering the goals.
I wonder how Andy Gowes is feeling. Andy, at this stage, 26 playing 37. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous at this stage, although the breeze is going to favour our end in the last quarter. I think that the Tigers are showing all the spirit at the moment. They're leading us to the ball, and I think that we really have to pick our socks up to win this game.
And why is Clark at centre-half forward, Matthew?
Well, I think that John Northey and the match committee, the Brains Trust, think that Clark can give us a bit of a go in the ruck, and quite often Matthew Clark has proved a problem for opposition teams at centre-half forward, so we've got a little bit of flexibility there, and those two players often interchange.
So Matthew Clark at centre-half forward now will do the ruck work against Ben Holland. Pushing, shoving, reaches over, gets it down to Lambert, but he has got nowhere to go. Fires out a handball blindly, but it falls in the path of Lappin. Couldn't complete it. Gasper for the Tigers. Handballs on out wide to Thompson. He on the left foot, drives back towards the wing. Tigers outnumbered. Keating takes the mark. Keating doing the ruck work for the Lions. Drives now in, looking for Clark. Big fella comes out, great grab. Matthew Clark, formerly of the Richmond club way back in under-19 days. Certainly been an excellent ruckman for the Lions. Runner-up in the Lions.
On centre wing, out of sight of the ground. Still plenty of time for the Tigers if they're good enough. Gasper contesting that throw in. Campbell trying to wrestle that ball away. Stacks on the mill. Layer upon layer upon layer. 38 plays 51. John Harvey is the umpire. Putting it down. Here's the bounce. And again, no one going anywhere quickly. Down to the boundary line, Dipper.
Yes, Sandy. Some of the Richmond players are starting to feel the pinch now. Some of those hard-running players. We're just noticing here that they're all gasping for breath because it is quite warm down here with that strong sun glare as well.
You're all right, Dipper? You're not gasping?
No, I'm not gasping, mate, but I've got that sun glare in my eyes, but...
Rogers.
Like the umpires.
Yes, thank you, Dipper. Free kick going the way of Richmond on the outer side as Lambert looks on and receives a little bit of treatment. Rogers to right half forward. That's okay. Prescott has it. He's still a long way from home. They desperately need the next one fairly rapidly. A high kick. Bullis was there. He couldn't take the mark. Lynch defends. He comes back towards centre wing. This gives the runners a chance to go. And go they do. Lappin and Bond. They're two real quickies. He goes over the top to McRae. McRae from 50 metres. Sets sail for home, but it bends away to the right. And another behind goes on the board. Can they get to 30 behinds in a game? 5:22 at the moment.
In its purest sense, that makes the Brisbane Lions lead of 14 behinds. As Michael Gale comes off.
And you'd reckon if Brisbane get one more goal that without the Tigers answering, that would have be almost too much, but they're still in it at this stage.
But historically speaking, they don't come back, the Tigers. Matthew Richardson, his chip in, finds Chaffey. He wheels around quickly on the left foot towards centre half forward. Very good kick. Good lead there from Bullis. He's 50 metres out. Holland's in the goal square. Now Powell joins him. A lead from Daffy. He's ignored all those. If they are the marking options in the goal square, he's got trouble. Powell standing about 5'6" and Busey about the same.
Darren Gaskell has pushed down. He's just lurking on the forward pocket.
Very deliberate in his assessment of his ability here. Paul Bullis from 50 goes long. He's going to go very close. He's going to go over the line and put it in there.
Paul Bullis has been very accurate. Coming into this game, he'd booted 5 straight, and now he's got a vital goal for Richmond. They're still in this game as Campbell whips it out of the middle, kicks a high ball to half forward. Richardson was there, couldn't take the mark. Daffy is there again. The duck goes in towards the pocket. Pressure now on Buse, and the veteran goes to the outer side, and he puts it out on the full. Suddenly the tide has turned. Maybe history will be upset. Terry Wheeler, who knows? In towards full forward. Holland couldn't take it, almost throws it out to a teammate. Gleefully accepted. Daffy shrugs a tackle, bends it round his body, into full forward. The juggling act is there. It's not paid. Lappin almost went over, just keeps it in play to Ashcroft. He wobbles at 35 metres towards centre wing, and Clark will see it in. Let's have a look at this one in replay, Jared.
Pressure time here for the umpire, and I would have thought that was a free kick, but then again, bad sun glare down in that forward pocket.
There's no sun on the ground at that end.
Throw in on centre wing.
That being flippant, that is a shocking decision.
Righto, righto. Keating, Fletcher and Broderick over the line.
I think what's difficult, Jared, is the fact that for the first 8 or so weeks of the season, there was a reluctance to pay decisions. Then all of a sudden, it seemed as though the floodgates were opened and they were encouraged. So there are still occasions when the umpires seem to bounce off the walls and miss ones they should pay and pay some they shouldn't.
So 13 minutes into the last quarter, it's the Lions by 8 points. Tigers making some final work at the ball here. Chappie gets a break at 50, kicks into the one-on-one contest. Chapman, a champion in front. Holland from behind, little kick off the ground. It goes the leg break. It's rolled there. It's home.
2 points the margin here at the Gabba.
Not sure many of the Tigers read the history books.
Well, I know Terry didn't. Let's see what happens from the middle. Fletcher is in there, and he gets it out towards Darryl White, who kicks to half forward. Ackermanis wants a free kick. It doesn't come his way. Suddenly now it's the Tigers over the head of Dick Foss. A chance now for Richmond through Chaffee to full forward. Holland is there, but a good mark is taken by Champion. Well, there is sun glare down in that area, just a little pocket of it.